What's up everyone, I'm Callum on Toast, and in today's video we have the third and final theme team featuring the new Paldean starters, with the theme this time being Bipedal cats, with Berserker, Meowscarada and Incineroar. Of the three theme teams, this one was definitely the hardest to run. You can see it's obviously triple weak to fighting, and Medicham is basically the most common Pokemon you see in the Great League, but I had my team set up as best as I could to take it on, which you'll see in these battles. What's also really disappointing is that after watching back the battles, it would appear that I forgot to record one of the sets, which included two of the craziest clutch wins I've pulled off this season. So that really sucks, but there's still plenty of crazy games in this video. So with that being said, let's just get straight into the question of the day. What other theme teams would you like to see me run on the channel this season? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead straight into a Medicham. Now this is why my team is set up like this. We've got Berserker in the lead, Shadow Claw is super effective, I can go straight for a Trailblaze, and this will boost my attack. The opponent does actually use a shield, which is not ideal, but these boosted Shadow Claws do get Medicham fairly low already, and this is where it's really nice running Incineroar, because we do typically resist both charge moves from the Medicham. Ice Punch, single resisted, Psychic, double resisted, so whilst they are dealing super effective damage with the counters, we can actually sponge this damage. We don't have to use a shield. We can go for the Blaze Kick, and it's very unlikely that they double shield, so they let it go down. We come in with Meowscarada, and they've got Lantern and Galarian Stunfisk in the back, so this is time for Meowscarada to shine. We go for a Grass Knot straight away. That would do quite a lot of damage to the Stunfisk. I know Rock Slide will be neutral, both Surf and Thunderbolt will be resisted damage, so I'm going to double shield in this matchup, and I'm really hoping that I can get them into range where a Grass Knot will be enough damage to take them out. We throw on the CMP tie with the third Rock Slide, and Grass Knot does take out the Galarian Stunfisk. They come back in with the Lantern. They have to go for Thunderbolt there. They don't get there in time, and this Grass Knot will be one-shotting the Lantern, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Berserker into a Pelipper lead, so a pretty decent matchup here for us. And if we go for Trailblaze straight away, then if the opponent wants to let it go through, we should be able to Shadow Claw, farm them down and shield once. But here we are going to let the first move go through, go for that Trailblaze, and the opponent is going to respect the damage there, but we boost our attack, which is really nice for us. We're now going to shield the second Weather Ball, and I will barely make it to a final Trailblaze here. I don't expect the opponent to double shield. They don't. They let it go through, and now they come in with a Galarian Stunfisk. They will be able to fully Mudshot farm me down, but that's fine. I'm going to get off another Trailblaze. We are double boosted. That did a lot of damage. We now come in with Meowscarada. Worst they can do is go for a Rock Slide, because Earthquake is resisted damage there, but they still sent it anyways, and they swap into a Registeel. Now, I could swap out here, but instead, I'm actually going to force the Registeel to throw their energy, because behind on energy it might be a little bit tricky, but now they have to go for the Focus Blast to take us out. We can come in with the Incineroar here, and this should be game over for the opponent. We overfarm, going for a Blaze Kick on the CMP tie with the potential Focus Blast, and the opponent uses their final shield, so that's perfect for me. We can now overfarm significantly in this matchup here, and just in case they did overfarm, I'm going to go for 4 double kicks, not risk it with a 5th one. We go for the Blaze Kick, and this will be taking out the Registeel. We're 1 double kick away from the next Blaze Kick, and this will be enough damage from this range to take out the Galarian Stunfisk, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Berserker into Carbink, so a pretty good lead. This is where we want to see it. Also, Meowscarada does fairly well, but a Moonblast would hit for super effective damage. The opponent swaps into Medicham, and this is a mistake. I don't know why I went for Foul Play here. I don't know what I was thinking, because really we want to go for that Trailblaze and then boost our Shadow Claw damage. Now we go for it the wrong way round. This time they do use a shield. We get off 3 boosted Shadow Claws, but it's just not enough damage there. We're now going to come in with the Incineroar, and once again, hopefully they're not running Power Up Punch or Dynamic Punch. We can resist everything they throw here. So the opponent is going to go for the charge move, and they go for the Ice Punch, so that is resisted damage. They also don't throw the next move straight away either, allowing me to just take them out with a Blaze Kick, which is perfect for me. We're now going to swap into Meowscarada. They come back in with their Carbink. They're going to get off a charge move. This is very likely just a Rock Slide bait, but I have to shield this up. Meowscarada, a very glassy Pokemon. They now come in with a Shadow Victory Bell. I hope they shield this and I get a boost here. We go for the Night Slash. They no shield it, but we still get the boost anyways, and I hope the opponent, for whatever reason, lets this go through, and they do, which is amazing for me, because now I will barely make it to another Night Slash. This should be grabbing the final shield from the opponent, as I am boosted, and they do resist everything from the Incineroar. Incineroar here, but can we somehow take this game? We're going to use the shield. Honestly, the opponent probably could have just gone for the full rock throw farm down. I make it to the Dark Pulse, and Dark Pulse isn't quite enough damage. And they barely hang on with 1 HP to survive there and take that game. So GG's to that opponent, very close game. But into the next game, we see Azumarill in the lead. So we're going to stay in this matchup. The opponent swaps into Galarian Stunfisk. Now, I don't really care if I swap out or not. We're going to go straight for a Trailblaze. And Trailblaze does boost our attack. Unfortunately, the opponent doesn't shield it. It could have been a close combat, but quite unlikely to throw there. And the opponent actually just went for a rock slide straight away. I don't know why they did that. Maybe thinking if we go for the close combat, we would debuff our defense, but we didn't do that. And now we should still live a second rock slide from this range. So I'm going to let it go through. They come back in with Azumarill. We can still align the Meowscarada with this Azumarill. I'm not going to throw straight away, and the opponent swaps into Noctowl, trying to catch a move there, but they did swap just slightly too early there. They go for a Sky Attack. I'm going to shield the first one here. I'm going to go for a Blaze Kick bait. Honestly, might just be better to go straight Blaze Kick in this matchup. I don't really know. I haven't used Incineroar, especially with Blaze Kick before. But here we're going to let the second move go through. Can't really afford to double shield because I know Azumarill either has a charge move or is very close to a charge move loaded. So not great for us. But now I can go for the Blaze Kick, and Meowscarada does have a Night Slash loaded. I'm hoping this is Night Slash range. We're going for the snipe. Does this take out the Noctowl? Yes, it does. And now here the Azumarill has a move, but it doesn't matter now. We can safely shield this up, and I will be able to make it to a Grass Knot before they make it to the next charge move. And from this range, Grass Knot will easily be enough damage to take out the Azumarill, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Alright, so going into the next game, we see Medicham in the lead, so not a great lead once again. Gonna stay in, just play out exactly the same, go for the Trailblaze straight away, and hopefully the opponent just commits to the full counter farm down. They use a shield, and they actually throw a charge move here, so I'm thinking that I'm actually going to shield this up. It's a power-up punch, and this is awful for me. If they're running Ice Punch Psychic, then Incineroar is actually quite fine here, but with Power Up Punch, it's basically game over already. They go for the Power Up Punch, I have to let the first one go through. We go for another Blaze Kick, and we actually throw on the CMP Tire, which is the best case scenario, but I don't think it's going to help me that much here. I have to let this move go through, otherwise they will just counter farm me down and outpace me to a charge move on Meowscarada, and here, they do actually throw. If they're running like Swampert and Whiscash in the back, we might be able to win this game, but it's very unlikely that that is the backline from this opponent. And here we're going to see they're running Bastiodon, so I'm just going to concede the match there. So if they're running Ice Punch Psychic, then we've got some play. If it's Power Up Punch, Medicham is just going to absolutely dominate this entire team. But into the next game, we see Azumarill in the lead, and here this was just really bad reactions. The opponent swaps and catches. I didn't see what it was. It's a Shadow Alolan Sandslash. So that is really not ideal. Now we do have a really good response here, but I'm thinking I don't want Azumarill to farm me down, so I let the drill run go through. We barely hang on, and Blaze Kick will be enough to take out the Shadow Alolan Sandslash. So we do kind of maintain the alignment there, and we don't give up a shield either. But we're still not in the best position. We now come in with Meowscarada. I'm going to have to use a shield here, as both Ice Beam and the Play Rough would hit for super effective damage. I expect to catch. The opponent swaps into Shadow Gligar, and now I'm going to go for a Night Slash here, hoping to grab a shield from the opponent. We grabbed that shield. I was going to go for a catch, but I wanted to overfarm by one, hoping the opponent wouldn't throw straight away. But now we swap into Berserker. I should barely outpace them to the Foul Play here before they make it to a dig, and this Foul Play will be grabbing the final shield from the opponent. They overfarm quite a lot here, and to be honest, I wasn't really keeping track of their energy, so that's a big mistake here, as we're about to find out as I go for the Leafage, then go for one Night Slash. It looks like they didn't have the charge move loaded, and you're going to see that we lose by one fast move. If I went for two Leafages before I took out that Gligar there, then I would have been able to win that game, but unfortunately I was not able to, so GG's to that opponent there. In the next game, we see Lantern in the lead, so going to go straight Trailblaze in this matchup. Trailblaze actually doesn't do that much damage to a Lantern, but we do prefer it if they shield the first move. Now, I'm actually not going to shield this up. I don't believe a Surf doesn't quite take us out here, and I'm hoping I make it to a second Trailblaze, and I barely do, which is amazing for me, because now I grab both shields from the Lantern, and we still have a Meowscarada. Now, the opponent swaps into Talonflame. I'm thinking that they might have a Charizard in the back, just because typically you don't see Talonflame too much anymore. anymore unless it is in an ABB style team. So here we're going to go for the overfarm as much as possible, go for a Dark Pulse. We also called the bait there, which I think was probably my win condition, and now we go for a Dark Pulse number 2 before they make it to the Brave Bird, taking out the Talonflame, and they've actually got a Poliwrath in the back. We barely don't make it to a Blaze Kick, and now we're just depending on Meowscarada to win this game. I'm going to use my shield. It is the Dynamic Punch that would have definitely taken us out, and now here I can let this move go through. My aim is just to overfarm as much as possible, come out with a Night Slash and a Grass Knot loaded. I'm going to be absolutely sure of it here as we shield up the Surf. We're now going to overfarm nearly 100 energy, go for a Night Slash. This will be enough to take out the Lantern, and a Grass Knot I'm hoping from this range should be enough damage to take out the Poliwrath, and it does exactly that, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, another Medicham in the lead. So once again, just going to stay in this lead matchup here. Go straight for that Trailblaze, and the opponent also throws on the CMP tie. So that's fine. We're going to go for that Trailblaze. They let it go through, and now I will commit a shield because even if they're running Power Up Punch, I should get them low enough where we should be alright to take them out. But they go for an Ice Punch there. I nearly take them out with the Shadow Claw damage, and this should just be another Ice Punch or maybe a Psychic. I wasn't counting. Just the Ice Punch there, and we get the double kick farm down. Now let's see what the opponent has in the back. They're going to come in with Galarian Stunfisk, so I'm expecting that potentially it's going to be like a Licky Tongue or a Registeel in the back. It's quite common to see Medicham and then 2 Pokemon weak to fighting in the back. So here we shield up the Rock Slide. I think Rock Slide probably does take us out from that range. And now I want to preserve the health on my Incineroar, so I'm actually going to swap out of this matchup after the Blaze Kick, catch the Charge Move, and we also get a Leafage through here on Meowscarada, and we're about to find out that the opponent is wanting to stay in here. So we go for the Night Slash on the CMP tie. The opponent gets to the Rock Slide, and unfortunately Night Slash doesn't take them out there. Rock Slide won't quite take us out, but they had a Azumarill in the back, so I made a wrong call. If I just stayed in with Incineroar, I think we might have actually been able to take that, but unfortunately how we played that, it didn't work out. So GG's to that opponent, and into the next game we see a Shadow Gligar in the lead. The opponent goes for a catch, but they actually catch a Trailblaze, which is perfect for me because that's the move I was throwing anyways, and now it's super effective up against the Azumarill, and here I can overfarm and go for another Trailblaze, and with the boost, this Trailblaze takes out the Azumarill, which is amazing for me. They come back in with the Gligar, and we make it to another Charge Move. Honestly, should have gone for Trailblaze once again, but it doesn't matter. I'm expecting them to throw fairly soon, and they do exactly that. Now, the opponent actually based with an Aerial Ace, but one more Wing Attack takes me out, so that's better for them. They wasted less energy, and they got one extra Wing Attack in for free. Now we come in with Incineroar, hoping to catch a dig on Meowscarada, and the opponent baited with an Aerial Ace, so unfortunately that's super effective. They get the Wing Attack farm down, and now my only play here is if I go for a full double kick farm down and hope that Incineroar kind of walls the Pokemon in the back here. So the opponent throws on alignment there, perfect for me. We get the extra double kick through, and they have a Sableye in the back, so I'm not messing around. We go straight for the Dark Pulse. The opponent lets the first one go through. That's massive for me. They need to go for a return to take us out, and here I go for a Blaze Kick. They are 2 Shadow Claws away from the return, and we make it in just one double kick to the final Blaze Kick, which takes out the Sableye, and we can fully double kick, farm down the Shadow Gligar, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game we see Berserker into Lantern. So once again, a fairly neutral matchup, even though we've got a super effective Charge Move, just because these Sparks actually chunk quite a lot, and it puts us into range where they can just go straight Surf and farm us down in like the 2 shield scenario if they let the first move go through. And this time the opponent does let the first move go through here, and you can see we can go for the foul play. We should be grabbing a shield, or the opponent might just let it go down, but the opponent does use their shield there. So now we come in with Meowscarada. We're going to go for the Leafage farm down. We're only going to get 2 fast moves in for free before we get the farm down, and they've got a knocked out in the back. Now this is not ideal for me. I'm going to have to use a shield here because Incineroar really is needed to take out the knocked out, but they've also got Altaria in the back. This is looking really bad for me, but we do have quite a significant energy advantage. So we go for a Dark Pulse there. The opponent lets it go through. We go for a second Dark Pulse, and the opponent also lets the second move go through as well. So I'm thinking here, if I shield this, I might be able to switch out of this matchup barely and then get the farm down, but I only get 1 Leafage in for free. I was hoping to get at least 2 in there because now I won't be able to make it to the back-to-back Night Slashes, and this is not great for us. You can see we were 2 fast moves away, so Unfortunately, I wasn't quite able to swap out in time, and here we can come in with the Incineroar, go for one Blaze Kick. I should barely be able to make it to the second Blaze Kick, but this just isn't quite going to be enough damage to take out the Noctowl, and I do unfortunately lose that game. So I think if I actually just fully committed to double kick farming down the Altaria, I would have lost less health on the Incineroar, made it to a Blaze Kick and a Dark Pulse, and still made it to a Night Slash on Meowscarada. So definite misplay on my end, trying to be smart, but it didn't work out. But into the next game, we see Pelipper in the lead once again. This time we're going to go for that Trailblaze there after letting the first move go through. The opponent shields up the first charge move from the Berserker there, and we throw on the CMP tie. So going to use a shield here. The opponent very smartly playing to the CMP, which they know they win, because now we can't overfarm in this matchup. We go for foul play, but they actually let that go. They actually shield that. So now I'm just going to let Berserker go down. We should be able to Leafage farm them down before they make it to a Hurricane, and the opponent doesn't even go for the Weather Ball there either, and now we can go straight for a Grass Knot, and this is going to do quite a lot of damage to the Medicham there. We now swap into Incineroar, and we basically just have to hope that they're not running Dynamic Punch here. They go for the Ice Punch, and now I will be able to make it to a Blaze Kick to take out the Medicham from this range, and we're going to see what Pokemon they have in the back, and it is a Registeel. So upper shield, we should be able to take this game despite Incineroar being very low, because they have no fast move pressure whatsoever. I will be able to outpace them to 2 Blaze Kicks before they make it to 2 Focus Blasts. They even go for a Zap Cannon. They don't get the debuff there, so we can go straight for Blaze Kick number 2, and this will be enough to take out the Registeel, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Berserker into Galvantula. So a fairly decent lead for us. They will outpace us, but I'm fully expecting them to go straight for a lunge here. So I'm going to let the first move go through. Can't really afford to shield this up, and it is the lunge, so that's perfect for me. I'm now going to go for a foul play after 3 more Shadow Claws. The opponent does use a shield here, and I will be able to make it to another move before they get the farm down, but they make a very nice catch, catching onto Greninja the foul play, which is resisted damage. If we went for the Trailblaze, that would have nearly taken them out, but now we can come in with the Meowscarada. Hopefully we can Leafage farm them down before they make it to a second Night Slash, but we're not quite able to do so. We still resist this, so I'm going to let this move go through, and they can't also farm me down with their Galvantula either, but unfortunately they've got a Charm Whimsicott in the back. We barely hang on there, and I'm hoping that I might be able to make it to a Night Slash in the end game. The opponent swaps into their Galvantula. They go for the Snipe with the lunge, grabbing my first shield here. Now I'm going to overfarm in this matchup, go for a Blaze Kick just before they make it to the next lunge, and the opponent uses their final shield. Now here, I don't really want to throw straight away. I need to come out with enough health to make it to a second Blaze Kick, or just have 2 Blaze Kicks loaded. Now, hopefully I would be able to swap out of this matchup, reset the debuff, but my switch clock isn't quite up yet, so I have to go for a debuff Blaze Kick, and then hope I make it to a Night Slash in time, and we barely get there in time, and this Night Slash is still resisted. It doesn't quite do enough, and they still get the Charm farm down, living with 1 HP. That was really unfortunate, but GG's to that opponent there. And into the next game, we see Registeel in the lead now. If we were running close combat, then this would be fairly decent for us, but we're not, so just going to go for a foul play before they reach the Focus Blast, and the opponent actually uses a shield now. Typically, Registeels like to go for Zap Cannon even when it's not necessary, but here the opponent full sends the Focus Blast, and that was the right play there. I let the Berserker go down. Now we've got Incineroar aligned to the Registeel. They go for another Focus Blast. I can overfarm in this matchup, go for a Blaze Kick, and this still won't quite be enough damage to take them out, so I will get 1 extra double kick in before farming them down. They now come in with a Gligar. We can go for a Blaze Kick, but this one isn't Shadow, so Blaze Kick doesn't really do much damage whatsoever. We're now going to go for the harder hitting Dark Pulse, and the opponent no shields once again. I'm then going to go and try to catch the dig onto Meowscarada. Did we catch it this time? Yes, we did. That's perfect for us. They're now going to farm up a ton of energy, bank possibly a charge move there. I'm not sure if they were quite at the move yet, but we grab the final shield with the Grass Knot, and now here we can come in with the Incineroar. And honestly, I should have just overfarmed in this matchup. I was pretty confident that they didn't bank a charge move, especially not a dig on their Gligar, and here this is also just an Icicle Spear. We still get the double kick farm down anyways. I'm able to double kick farm down the Gligar, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there, and into the final battle of this video, we'll lead into another Carbink. So we're going to stay in this lead matchup. They're running Tackle this time around, which I don't know if that's better or worse up against Berserker. They swap, they try to catch a move onto their Skeledirge here, but I'm able to swap out there, go for the foul play, and then come in with my Incineroar. We do take neutral damage from fairy type moves here, so I'm able to overfarm, go for 3 double kicks before going for a Dark Pulse, and this will be enough damage to take out the Skeledirge, and the opponent comes in with a Medicham. We make it to another Dark Pulse, and this will be doing some very nice damage to the Medicham, gets them nearly into the yellow health. Now we have to come back in with the Berserker most likely, but just because of the Shadow Claw damage, but it doesn't matter too much just because Meowscarada can of course hit for super effective damage up against the Carbink. They go for a Psychic there, maybe hoping to get a defense drop. We're now going to go for a foul play, sorry. Possibly should have thrown that earlier, and now we swap into Meowscarada, and we are going to use our shield once again. Of course, we have to. They go for Psychic once again, which is a very odd play there. And now they come in with the Carbink. They go for a Rock Slide. They don't commit to the Moonblast, and now we make it to a Grass Knot. This is going to do a lot of damage, and I'm hoping that we can put them into farm down range with the Berserker because we're 1 away from the foul play. But unfortunately, we don't get that farm down, and now Rockslide will take us out. I think I needed to go for a slight undercharge on that Grass Knot and then go for 1 more Leafage. But like that, unfortunately, we do lose that final game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know. And as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.